I've just hit the record button. So, good afternoon. This is Marcia of my Bloated Belly Club. And I just wanted to share a handout or it's rather a guidebook that I've put together. But before I do that, let's talk a bit about fast foods. And I am going to talk about now, we're talking about fast foods. Fast foods aren't going anywhere. They have now become a part of life. They are convenient for many families. In my home as well, there are times when because of work or other life events, I don't have an opportunity to cook. I'm a wife and a mother, and I have to rely on fast foods. So, should we stop eating fast foods? Do we eat too many fast foods? So, we're going to look at some of those questions this afternoon. Fast, as I said, it's not going anywhere. Now, in the news quite recently, especially in the last month or two, there's been a lot of talk about the rise of obesity. Obesity rates are going up. At least 75% of Americans are obese, and at least 65% or nearing 65% of adults in the United Kingdom are also either overweight or obese. So the numbers are rising. Ultra-processed foods are also a problem. They are contributing to the rise in obesity rates. So what do we do about them? Well, first of all, we need to educate ourselves as to what are the better food options. And this is what I want to offer you this afternoon. So I'll not only be looking at how you can transform the fast foods that you eat, I'm also going to be looking at snacking as well as your shopping list. And I've compiled the three because the information given also talks about behavior change. Do we practice moderation, or is behavior changed? Is that the way that we should go? So practicing moderation, what does that mean? What does moderation even mean? Moderation, if you look at it from the dictionary point of view, it talks about temperance. It talks about discipline, having discipline. Unfortunately, a lot of the foods that we eat, the ultra-processed foods that we eat, are designed to make us eat more of it. So we lose our discipline. It's not like 20, even 30 years ago. More chemicals are turning up in our foods. The foods are designed to be addictive. So eating one Dorito, nobody eats one Dorito. And we know Planters chips and Cheetos and all these things. Once you start eating, it is very difficult to stop because the chemicals, when you put it into your mouth, it lights your taste buds, and your taste buds speak to your brain, and you want more and more. So let's get into the handout. So I'm sharing my page. So here we go. Make your fast foods choices something to live for. So are you digging your grave with your teeth? I do hope not, because what we eat actually affects how our bodies function. We are what we eat, and the healthier food choices we make for ourselves, then guess what? The healthier our bodies will be. lots in the news about colon cancer on the rise, especially for young adults under the age of 30. A lot of it is being attributed to having a diet low in fiber. And this is one of the issues with ultra-processed foods, as well as a lot of the fast food we eat. I don't know how many of you have ever seen the videos about certain fast food products offerings, McDonald's. There are a couple of videos. I have never done the experiment myself, but there are a couple of videos making its rounds on the internet that shows a McDonald's burger bought 1 year ago looks the very same way a year after. So I want you to be very mindful about what you eat and how much of it you eat. Back to the whole thing of moderation. Moderation, it is difficult to moderate how much we eat. Why is that? Because how much is the right amount? So if we took, for instance, I did another video the other day and I spoke about alcohol. If we took, for instance, alcohol, how much is a moderate amount of alcohol? Is it 1 glass of wine? 1 glass of wine per month might be a moderate amount of alcohol for me. For someone else, it's 3 glasses a week. But the thing with alcohol, there are studies that show no amount of alcohol is safe, especially for women. It can increase our risk of breast cancer. This is not talked about often enough. We are here in the UK banning the use of cigarettes with the under 16s. We're looking at vaping, but nobody's talking about alcohol. And why that is? Alcohol is a billion-dollar industry per year. So to ban alcohol, it's going to take a lot of legislation, and it's going to be like tobacco in the long run. It took several years before tobacco was listed as a health hazard, in spite of all the studies showing that it contributed to lung cancer, throat cancer, and so forth. So I don't expect them to legislate alcohol anytime soon, but please be aware that no amount of alcohol is safe. So who am I? I am a certified nutrition coach, natural health practitioner, and a natural health educator. I love teaching women how to raise their awareness around the foods they eat and drink and what they can do to be more proactive against disease. And I say dis-ease because that is what happens to the body. When we become ill, it causes dis-ease in the body. And the number one reason for diseases such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and obesity is inflammation. And what's driving the inflammation? It is the foods that we eat. More importantly, a lot of processed and ultra-processed foods. And what is an ultra-processed food? To break that down for you, it is a food that does not, it has lost its original purpose. It contains more chemicals and lots of simple ingredients. Basically, it has little to no nutritional value for the human body and for cellular health. So this particular program that I've put together, it helps you to understand why you feel the way that you feel sometimes when you have these foods, why it takes so long to recover from disease when you actually have these foods. And it also teaches you how to make better options. All right. So it tells you that you should go fresh with salads. make your own salads, put together what you want in that bowl, and you can top it with grilled chicken or a lean protein. It tells you sizzle and not fried. We know that fried foods, the issue you have, well, there are basically two issues with fried foods. One of the bigger issues is the type of oil that they use to fry the foods. We know that seed oils are not healthy for the body. They actually destroy, how should I put it? They don't provide any antioxidant protection for the cells, and they are very inflammatory, meaning that they cause issues with the liver and so forth. They do contribute to things like heart disease. Those are the oils that we need to be aware of. The ones that we should be consuming: avocado oil, olive oil. If you're having butter, eat real butter. If it says, I cannot believe it's not butter, that's because it isn't. Margarine is just a couple molecules away from plastic. It was discovered by accident and turned into a fruit product. Please eat real butter. Have ghee, which is clarified butter. It does have its health benefits. Have real butter. Add a lot of veggies to your sandwiches. Make sure you're having whole grains, which is what a lot of fast foods don't give us. So we eat white bread, hamburger buns. These things, they lack a lot. They don't have fiber in there. Miss the sauces. Add the sauces on the side rather than put it onto your foods. It does make a difference. So it tells you, the handout, how to transform your fast food choices, and it gives you a checklist. And also, it tells you how to unleash the power of small changes for a healthier you. We always think that we have to do all these grand things. Everything has to happen all at once. Rome wasn't built in a day. And if you're accustomed eating a particular way, you're not going to wake up the next morning and eating a different way. Eventually, you will lose interest and you will go back to your old ways. That's why diets don't work. So we're looking at behavior change. So what is the behavior change we want in this instance? To consistently order healthier food options at fast food restaurants. So look at what they have on offer before you go. What's your favorite place? Do they offer salads? Do you even like salads? Is there a particular vegetable that you enjoy? Because I can tell you, at one point in time, I did not enjoy salads. That was not what I wanted to eat. But then I realized the benefits of it, and I started eating the vegetables that I enjoyed more until I started adding others onto my plate. So look at the ones you enjoy eating. I know what you'll tell me. Vegetables are expensive. My advice to you is eat what's in season. Talk to your grocer, talk to the your fruit stall or your market vendor. Find out from them what is in season and have loads of it if that's what you enjoy. All right. Start small. Link to a daily routine, recognize and reward yourself, gradually add more behaviors, as in add healthier options to your order over time, and swap. If they have different types of buns, then ask questions, and you may find out that they also have healthy options. Repeat the routine until it becomes a habit. Yeah. Every time you go, repeat the routine. So I've done the same thing with snacking, transforming your snacking habits. Same concept. Look at It tells you step by step what you need to do to transform. Listen to your body's hunger and fullness signals. Oftentimes, we eat out of boredom, especially if you have a desk job that you're tied to, then you're going to find yourself snacking. You may find yourself reaching for those biscuits, for the chocolate, something sweet. What you can do is replace that with protein. Protein helps to satiate. It helps to make you feel fuller longer. That afternoon slump around 3:30, when you feel to reach for a cup of coffee, instead of having that, have protein. Yeah, have uh, protein a yogurt, not one of the flavored ones, plain ones, and you can actually add nuts or seeds to that, and you can have that. So that can add chia seeds as well. Rich in protein, and chia seeds actually help you to burn fat. So if you make that concoction ahead of time, and that's another thing, prepare your snacks ahead of time. So that way you are not reaching for something on the spur of the moment. So you have snacks that are ready to go when you need it. Try your best to figure out exactly what's going on. Are you bored? Are you stressed? Has it become a habit? When I'm stressed, I tend to feel for crunchy foods. So when that happens, try to figure out why you're stressed. If you're at work sometimes and you have a stressful job, it's kind of difficult to get away from that. Drink water. Again, have protein. If you feel for crunchy things, you can have a handful of nuts. That's protein, healthy fats. That tends to satiate. But be careful, especially if you like a lot of crunchy things, they can be hard on your teeth, so be careful. But this gives you step by step choosing dense foods, densely nutrient foods. As I said, plan ahead for snacks and meals so you know exactly what you're having, and drink a lot of water. Don't deprive yourself. Yeah. Cut up vegetables and have that in place of or fruit, but don't deprive yourself, because what happens when you deprive yourself, then it becomes a punishment, and it shouldn't be a punishment. Everything in small steps, as I said. Don't let food be a punishment for you. So the behavior change to satisfying hunger, and it's listed here. Eat slowly and mindfully. Mindful eating is very important. It helps you to control, and also it gives your brain and your stomach time to communicate with each other. So you have an entire list. And also it talks about snacks and what you should have. And then I have the effortless shopping guide, which helps you to make wise choices when you go to the supermarket. And I have a bit of advice for you. When you're going to do your grocery shopping, do not go hungry. Make sure you eat well, have a meal before you go grocery shopping. You make different choices when you go to the supermarket on a full stomach rather than an empty one. So shop at the edge of the supermarket first. We know the fruits, veg, and meats tend to be on the outsides. The aisles, that's where all the junk is stored, all the ultra-processed foods, everything that has a label, you usually get it on the inner aisles. So this entire handout, this one talks about avoiding cartoons. These cartoons, they're targeted for children, and this is where the junk food usually lies. 5-ingredient rule. Make sure whatever it is you're buying has no more than 5 ingredients. And make sure they're actual food ingredients that's in there and not artificial foods or chemicals. Learn to read your labels. If you go onto my website, www.mybloatedbellyclub.com, I believe that there is, I do have a video that I did on reading labels. If you don't find it in the video section of my website, please let me know and I will get one done for you. All of this information is very handy, it's important, and it does help you to gain some control. Listen, if it were easy, we would all be healthy. We would all be within our weight ranges. It's not easy. I'm not going to pretend it's easy because I have to say that when I left Trinidad, I came to the UK to live. I migrated here in 2018. When I left Trinidad, that's where I'm originally from, Trinidad and Tobago, Caribbean island, for those of you who don't know where Trinidad and Tobago is. When I left my home country, I was a UK size 12, a US size 8. When I came here within a year, I put 10 pounds on. The only thing that had changed, or at least two things I could put it down to. One, there is an adjustment period when you move from one country to a new one. Yeah? This became my home. And you had to get accustomed to the weather. We spent more time inside. Whereas, of course, when you live in a Caribbean island, you're out and about, the weather is constant. But here, during the winter months, you're stuck. And you're basically inside, spending more time inside. But the other thing that was a big change were the foods that I was eating. The fruit and veg wasn't fresh all the time. Of course, they're being shipped. And in shipping, sometimes you have to spray the fruit and veg in order to make sure that it gets to market in, in a good state. So the bread was different. If you check the ingredients on the shelves, oftentimes you're not just eating flour, salt, a bit of sugar, yeast, and a fat in there. No, you're eating dough conditioners, you're eating ingredients to keep the bread on the shelf longer. So homemade bread, as against store-bought bread, totally different. So now what I try to do is make more of my own ingredients. I put together make my own bread. So not only for myself, but also for my family as well. I do understand that a lot of what we eat, it's not nutrient dense. The soil is depleted. So it doesn't offer us what we are actually looking for in by way of health and nutrition. So I really want to encourage all of you today. Get the handout. Have a look at it. It is on the website. It is £4.99. And get it, download it, and start practicing the behavior changes. It's not only for yourself, but also your family. You're doing yourself a huge favor when you do that. Yeah? And it's very important to note that living in the UK, I can tell you we have a population that is very sick. You have a lot of people who are ill, a lot on medication, and a lot of it could have been avoided. Yeah. So I want to encourage you again, eat for healing, eat for health, not for sickness. I can't tell you don't eat fast foods because you're not going to stop. But if you can replace a lot of what you eat with healthier options, then you can begin to see a difference in the way your body responds. Your medication works better when your body is in a healthier place. Yeah? Some of you are have just started diabetic. You've just been diagnosed as type 2 diabetic and you've been placed on medication. You're not on insulin yet. It's not too late to turn it around. And if you want to know how, you can get in touch with me. Yeah? We've become so dependent on drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, that we are not even trying anymore to help ourselves. But it starts with the food that we eat. And I really want to ask you to take better care of the bodies that God has given us. It is our responsibility. It's a biblical mandate that we take care of the bodies that God has given to us. We have a responsibility. Yeah. So if you would like to know more, you can contact me through my Bloated Belly Club, www.mybloatedbellyclub.com. And yeah, I would be happy to have a chat with you. All right. I also have some free downloads on the website. So go on, have a look, free resources. Some of them have recipes included. You can download and you can start putting them to use. All right. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time. And it was lovely spending this time with you. And I'll be back again to share some more information with you. Bye.